Hey everyone, today I'll give you my updated review of the Nike Zoom Fly 4. And make sure you stay till the end of the video to see my final recommendation whether or not these shoes are for you. So before we get started, these shoes were purchased with my own money from Nike.com and no one paid me to do this review, so the opinion is my own. So let's start from the top down. In this version, they're using a Flyknit material as the inner layer, and they've also added a heel collar to prevent that heel slippage that some runners have reported. And on the outside, there's a thin mesh layer that's holding the shoes in shape. And so this way, when you're doing fast paces, your foot won't be sliding around in the flexible Flyknit. So since the last review, I put about 150 miles in these shoes, and I find the upper to be extremely comfortable. And I like the fit a lot. It kind of reminds me of the Zoom Fly 2, so not the 3 where they use a vapor weave material. In the Zoom Fly 4, they also used a Flyknit material to give you that comfort. However, in this improved version, they added a thin mesh layer, so then this way when you're turning corner or making sudden stops, it really holds your foot in place, which is great. Some of the dislikes of the upper is that it stains really easily. So this may not be a big deal to some runners, but for me, I like to keep my shoes clean to some degree. I don't maintain them sparkly clean, but looks relatively fresh, and so I can wear my clothes with it or whatnot. I think it was on my second run. I actually spilled coffee on it. It was pretty sad. I couldn't get the stain out. Another thing that's pretty minor for me is the shoelaces are a tiny bit too long. Now I know I can fix that by using the runner's knot where I can better secure my foot, but I don't really have a slippage issue with the fit since it's already pretty good. And I like to just slip my foot in and out anyway. I don't like to retie my shoes every time. So it's pretty minor. Now let's go over the midsole. These are using Nike React foam with a full-length carbon fiber plate inside. So I had two pairs of the Zoom Fly 3s, and one pair had 320 miles on them. The other had about 230. And I never really noticed the degradation in quality of the foam, even though it's after 200-300 miles. So I'm pretty confident in the durability of these shoes as well. I know these shoes are not well received by the running community because Nike React foam is not a new technology, especially in 2021 and 2022. There's a lot more exciting shoes out there to run in, like the Nike Streak Fly that's been hyped for a while now. But for me, old formula works, and I definitely want to keep that. So one thing to be aware of is because these shoes are so comfortable and it gives you that extra pop because it has a plate in it, I actually tried to use these as my daily trainers for a couple weeks, and it gave me some plantar fasciitis problem because it's so rigid, so the shoe doesn't bend very well. So that's something to be mindful of. Maybe if you have a stronger foot, that probably won't be an issue for you, but it's probably not suited for everyday use for most runners. And finally, for the outsole, I don't think there's much to talk about here. It's very similar to the Zoom Fly 3s and the original Vaporfly Next Percent and the current Next Percent 2. It's got a somewhat of a waffle pattern with a little bit of padding on the back as well. I mean, it works. I think you're fine running is in some rainy condition. I definitely would not take this to like an icy run or like a snow run. But for the most part, I think it does its job pretty well. So now let's go over some likes and dislikes. My first like is that these are the perfect training companion to the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent 2, especially if you don't want to log all your training miles on the Next Percent 2 because they're significantly more expensive, and React foam will last a lot longer too. So for me, these are my fast day shoes. I'll take them for tempo runs, even some long runs with a workout built in, and then I will only race in the Next Percent 2. My second like is the comfortability of these shoes. So even though they didn't change too much from the Zoomfly 3, they only updated the upper, but for me, it's a game changer because I can almost wear these shoes every day. Now let's go over some dislikes. The first one is the pricing. For $160, I don't feel that that's a competitive pricing anymore, even though Nike hasn't really changed the price in this version. But the reason I say that is if you can catch the Next Percent 2 on sale, you can find these for $180, $190. So for $20 to $30 more, you can probably get another pair of the Next Percent 2 and have one pair as the training shoes to put all your training miles in them, and then a race day shoes to keep the foam fresh. So who are these shoes really for? I would recommend these shoes to anybody that's planning on racing in the Next Percent 2. Because first of all, these are a little bit cheaper at $160 versus $250. And also the foam is React, so you know it'll last long. And also the upper is way more comfortable than the Next Percent 2. So that's it for my updated review. If you have any running shoes or apparel or gears that you would like me to review, make sure you comment down below so I know what to review. Thanks for staying with me till the end of the video, and I'll see you next time.